Chapter 1. The rich wife I have can read minds. And I hadn't even realized that. Plus, I criticized her behind her back every day, a year and a half ago. To fulfill her grandfather's last wish, she married me, the fiancé she had since we were kids. After we got married, we made an agreement. After 1 year, we would divorce. At that point, she would go live with her first love. But when her first love, Makoto, found out that she had married me, he got so angry that he went abroad. So, having a rich and beautiful wife with an imposing figure, I decided to win her over with my own efforts. However, I didn't expect that. Less than 6 months later, Lucia's grandfather passed away. Without hesitation, she contacted Makoto to have him return to the country. After Makoto came back, my wife Lucia, who normally had a cold and distant attitude, didn't even wait to leave, and began dancing joyfully in the hallway, and I, as her chauffeur, was lucky enough to witness Lucia's seductive dance. When we arrived at the airport, it was the first time I saw Makoto. He was thin, pale-faced, with delicate features, an attractive young man I instantly disliked. "Jorge, come take Makoto's suitcase," my wife said in her usual cold tone, used to being ordered around by her. I approached without saying a word, took the suitcase, and placed it in the trunk, driving the S680, which has state-of-the-art suspension, and using my skilled driving techniques. Lucia and Makoto could finally talk in the back seat. Lucia said, "Makoto, during this past year, I've kept my distance from him. Our relationship has been completely pure. I've been waiting for you to return to marry me." Lucia completely changed her usual cold attitude, and now she seemed like a friendly, approachable girl, driving along the airport highway. "I can't say I wasn't feeling bad, that would be a lie," Makoto responded. "Lucia, in the past, I misunderstood you. Don't worry, I'll make you happy from now on." They both murmured sweet words. But the car's soundproofing was so good that I heard everything. I couldn't help but think, at least wait until I'm not around as your legitimate husband to do all this. What's going on with the world these days? I sighed deeply, feeling annoyed, and sped up to overtake the car in front of me. A slow car was blocking the fast lane, and I complained in my mind. Without signaling, I overtook it on the right. But just at that moment, a green plate electric car changed lanes from the far right. Both vehicles collided, just as I managed to stabilize the car. The driver of the electric car, I don't know what happened to him, kept accelerating. Then, I felt a spin in my head. After the flip, everything went dark. When I woke up, I was in the driver's seat, and Lucia was trapped in the back seat. I couldn't get her out no matter what. Meanwhile, Makoto was a few meters outside the car. Fortunately, in the end, the traffic police helped us get out of the car. It was my mistake. I forgot to use the flash. Chapter 2. Luckily, after a checkup, the three of us were fine. After this incident, I finally understood. I thought to myself, this woman makes over $4 billion a year. Even though the company and stocks have nothing to do with me, the profits made this year are considered marital property. As long as we divorce, I can at least get $2 billion. With that kind of money, why should I keep being her simp? The bank's large deposit, though the market's down, it still offers over 4%. That's $80 million in interest per year. After doing the math, I looked at Willow with a smile on my face and thought, "Willow, hurry up and divorce me. I want that $2 billion divorce settlement, and then I'll buy a 2,000 square meter house in the countryside. I'll keep a college student on a monthly allowance of $10K. Hee hee hee." With that thought, my lips involuntarily curled into a grin. Willow looked at me, puzzled, and noticed that I wasn't speaking, but somehow she could hear my thoughts. Of course, I was totally unaware of this. I glared at Willow and said, "Willow, I'm the legal husband here, and you want to be with Makoto? No chance," I thought. "That's right, just like this. Hurry up and divorce me, then throw that money-stained black card in my face." Though that Makoto isn't exactly a saint either. It was him who snuck into Grandpa's hospital room and pushed him too hard, which led to his brain hemorrhage. But if I tell Willow about that, she'll probably think I'm slandering him. At that moment, Makoto moved towards Willow to put his arm around her shoulders, but she pushed him away. Makoto stumbled, losing his balance and falling to the ground. Usually, she would rush to him, full of concern, but now, with a slight raise of her eyebrows and a smile on her lips, she looked at me and said, "You're right. I'm still a married woman. I'll be careful." Then, she called an ambulance to take Makoto to the hospital and asked her assistant to accompany him. Makoto and I stood frozen in place. What's going on? This isn't how the script was supposed to go. After that, Willow and I got into another car to head home. I couldn't wrap my head around it the whole way. I thought, has Willow's head been damaged in the crash? As long as I'm here, there's no way she and Makoto could get back together. So, what's going on? She used to keep talking about divorce, But now she suddenly changed her mind. I slowly turned to look at Willow, and to my surprise, she had a sly smile on her face, her bright eyes almost saying, "You're still pretending, huh?" "No, this is unbearable," I coldly said. "Aren't you going to call and check if Makoto is okay? If he's missing an arm or leg, that'd be even better." Ha ha ha. Willow didn't respond but called her assistant. Then, without a care, she said, "No big deal, just soft tissue bruising." "Honey, let's head home," I thought. Did she just call me honey? What's going on? Did my performance not hit the mark? Or maybe I didn't express myself clearly. I cleared my throat and said, "With Makoto looking like that, just watching him makes me sick. As long as I don't agree to divorce, you'll never be with him." Willow's delicate face now had a meaningful smile as she said, "Okay, I'll listen to you, honey. I'll keep my distance from him and I won't divorce you." I was already confused, but now I was even more baffled. What's going on? I thought. Didn't you used to talk about getting a divorce every day? You have to be honest. You're a businesswoman, one of the top 10 entrepreneurs in the country. You can't just break your promises. You said you'd divorce me once Makoto returned. And that $2 billion. Hurry up and throw it at me. Then I'll pack up and leave. My brain CPU was overheating trying to figure this out. Chapter 3. Suddenly, a fragrant breeze approached, and Willow wrapped her arm around mine, saying, "Honey, what do you want for dinner tonight? Should we eat first, or should we eat me?" I thought. Is this woman possessed by a fox spirit or something? How did she suddenly change? I thought she was the cold, aloof, abstinent beauty. Now she's calling me honey. It's enough to make my bones go soft. Wait, no. This must be because my performance isn't convincing enough. I need to reflect on this. After all, a villain character with billions at stake should make a deeper impression. One that makes people grit their teeth in hatred. Once we got home, I made an excuse to retreat to the bathroom. Willow instructed the maid to prepare dinner. Cold water gushed down from the showerhead, soaking me to the core and sending chills through my body. I still couldn't figure out how the plot had taken such a sudden turn. Willow asked, "Sweetheart, are you done yet? You usually finish showering in 5 minutes, but it's been 40 minutes today." Her voice came from outside the door, sounding like a death knell. It made the hairs on my body stand up. I thought, something's off. There must be something I missed. I need to figure this out quickly, or I'll end up meeting the Grim Reaper before I even get my divorce settlement. With a whoosh, the bathroom sliding door was pushed open. A slender, delicate hand entered the battlefield first. Willow walked toward me, and I couldn't help but feel my nose itch. I thought, this is dangerous. What wife enters the bathroom wearing nothing but a white shirt? Wait, she's also wearing black stockings. But that's not the point. This is clearly entrapment. As the malicious villain, if I so much as hint at anything suggestive, I'll be blacklisted. She must be trying to seduce me and then accuse me of marital coercion. Yes, that's it. This way, she won't have to pay me the $2 billion divorce settlement, and I won't be able to find a cute, lively college girl to support. Stay strong, George. Don't give up the whole forest for just one tree. Just as I was thinking about how to escape her clutches. Ding-a-ling. I immediately switched to my dramatic mode, glaring at Willow with fake anger. I snapped. Who's calling at home? Don't they need to rest? Hang up now. But inside, I was overjoyed. I thought, this call came at the perfect time. I think I saw Makoto's name on the screen. Quick, answer it. Then I can leave them to their world, and I can stay here alone. Willow hesitated for 2 seconds before picking up the phone. In the quiet bathroom, I could hear Makoto's pitiful voice on the other end. He said, "Willow, my wound hurts so much. I'm all alone at the hospital, and it's so lonely. Could you come keep me company?" I thought, I have to admit, Makoto is a pro at being a yandere. He really knows how to play the role. I feel sorry for him, but go to him. Willow, go now. Pikachu. Wait, no, go. Willow. Willow furrowed her brow, clearly thinking about it. I thought, no, I need to fuel the fire. I frowned and said, what time is it? What does Makoto mean by calling you? Am I dead? Tell him to get lost. Maybe he heard my voice. As his weak response came after a brief pause, George, I'm sorry for interrupting you too. You guys carry on. I'll be fine alone. Even if it gets cold tonight, I can handle it. Maybe just catch a little cold or a fever. I thought. Nice. Makoto really has the potential to be a yandere male lead. He's perfectly in sync with me. The evil side character. It's a seamless match. Unstoppable. I kept grumbling, embodying the typical villain role of breaking up true love. Willow's furrowed brows finally relaxed, and she came closer to me, staring at her flawless, translucent skin. Even I, who had seen my fair share of beautiful women in midnight video sections, froze for a second, and then, before I could process anything, I was kissed. My first kiss, gone. Chapter 4. I thought, damn it, my first kiss is gone. Willow, this nasty woman, plays the role of a fox spirit without missing a beat. Then, A slender, jade-like finger pressed against my lips, and she said, "Don't speak yet." Willow picked up her phone, and it was as if she had become a different person. Her face quickly turned into the cold, aloof beauty persona as she spoke. "Mr. Ito, my husband and I are busy in the bathroom right now. The hospital has already arranged a caregiver for you, and if that's not enough, we can send more people over." On the other end, Makoto coughed a few times, sounding like he was either choking or really unwell. Then his weak and desperate voice came through. "Willow, it was my fault from the start. You're being so heartless now. I must be being punished. I'll endure everything, but please remember, I will only ever be separated from you when the heavens and earth unite and mountains and rivers disappear." "That's what you said when you sent me away," I thought. Listen to Makoto's words. I'm almost moved. "Willow, are you really this cold-hearted? Hurry up and go take care of him." I pushed Willow's finger away and said, "Stay away from me. Don't try any of these seduction tactics. I've had so many girlfriends over the years. I can't even count them all. These little tricks won't work on me." Willow gave me a sly look, then said into the phone, "Mr. Ito, take care of yourself. My husband and I have more important things to do." Without waiting for him to respond, Willow hung up the phone. She quickly moved closer, her eyes full of flirtation as she said, "So, what you mean is that you're a master at picking up women. Now that no one's disturbing us, show me what you got. Come on." After Willow finished speaking, she attempted to do something inappropriate to me. I thought, "Don't think I don't know. You've been acting like the ice-cold beauty all this time, and now you're suddenly so passionate. There's definitely something fishy going on. You're trying to seduce me, then accuse me of forcing myself on you during marriage, just to get out of paying me the huge divorce settlement." Even though that was what I thought, I couldn't lose my edge. I looked at Willow with a playful smirk and said, "Very well, woman. You've caught my attention. Close your eyes, and I'll show you what it really means to be a master of seduction." Willow smiled and complied. Closing her eyes, I quickly slipped out of the bathroom, grabbed some clothes, and rushed downstairs to the dining room. The maid saw me and smiled, saying, "Young master, you're done with your shower. Just tell young madam to come down, and we can start dinner." I nodded, sitting at the table with a blank expression. Before long, Willow, wearing pajamas, slowly walked downstairs and sat opposite me, saying, "Eat, honey, you've lost weight recently. You need to take care of your health." The maid was momentarily stunned by Willow's appearance. Then she lowered her head and opened the warming covers on the dishes. When I saw the spread on the table, I couldn't help but exclaim in disbelief. I was speechless, thinking, what is this? Stir-fried kidney, ginseng and bull's penis soup, steamed oysters, stir-fried eggs with chives, sea cucumbers. What's all this heavy stuff? Are you trying to make me explode with blood? I'm still a virgin. Where am I supposed to release all this energy tonight? Willow really lives up to her title as the princess of the rich family. So cunning and deep. She's been plotting against me from the moment I stepped into the house. From now on, I have to stay on high alert. In the end, I only ate the stir-fried eggs with chives, because once again, I saw that malicious smile from Willow. I locked myself in the bedroom, lying on the bed. After I calmed down, I couldn't help but think back to how Willow had tried to seduce me. My mind started to race, and I spent the whole night dreaming of Willow in various seductive poses. The next morning, as I opened the door, Willow was there, wearing dark circles under her eyes. Had she not slept well, she deserved it. I said, "Let's go to the hospital today, and check if Makoto's still alive." Willow glanced at me and snorted, saying, "There's a charity gala tonight. Don't forget to come. Makoto will be there too." I had originally planned to refuse, to give those two some alone time, but my single-core CPU instantly started working overtime. I thought, just letting them be alone isn't enough. "Tonight, I'll make sure to embarrass you, Willow, at the charity gala. Let's see if you still won't divorce me." Willow, who had been walking ahead, suddenly stopped. She said, "Remember, you must come." I thought, I have to go, and I'll make sure Makoto is completely crushed. Then Willow will get all maternal and team up with him. At the gala, she'll announce our divorce in front of everyone. Chapter 5. Time flew by. I arrived at the hotel for the charity gala, dressed in sportswear. The men were all in suits, and the women were in various evening gowns, but I stood out in my sportswear. This wasn't important, though. After all, many people knew I was Willow's so-called formal husband. Soon, Willow appeared in full glamour, followed by the dazzling Makoto. They were truly the golden couple, a match made in heaven. The host said, "Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The charity gala is about to begin." With the host's announcement, the venue quieted down. After introducing various dignitaries, the host cheerfully added, "We've added a fun new segment to today's charity gala. It's a quiz with prizes. You can raise your hands to answer, and if you get a question right, you donate 10,000 yuan to the charity fund. If you get it wrong, you donate 50,000 yuan. I thought, perfect. This is a great opportunity to embarrass Willow and make her totally disappointed in me. Seeing everyone looking at him, the host began reading the first question. First question, what is the most expensive watch in the world? This one's easy. I raised my hand immediately. The host saw me and quickly responded. Mr. George, would you like to answer? He handed me the microphone, and I shouted, a waiting watch, because the longer you wait for it, the more expensive it gets. The whole room burst into laughter. The host smiled and said, wrong answer. You owe 50,000 yuan for the charity fund. I cast a playful glance at Willow and stepped to the front to prepare for the next question. Next question, what is the largest island in the world? As soon as the host finished speaking, I pressed down Makoto's hand, which was about to go up, and confidently walked under the spotlight. Looking at the distinguished guests in the front, I loudly yelled, Pizza Island, because every slice is a full island. Makoto walked up to Willow with dissatisfaction and said, Willow, George is really active today. He's not even letting anyone else answer the questions. I raised an eyebrow and gave them a provocative look. The spotlight happened to land on Willow and Makoto's side, whether intentional or not, I didn't know. The host chuckled. At first glance, MS. Lu and Mr. Ito really make a perfect couple. Let me ask another question. What river separates the cowherd and the weaver girl in Chinese legend? Makoto raised his hand with a slight smile, elegantly preparing to answer. I quickly ran over, grabbed the microphone from the host, and answered, the river of the underworld. Makoto gritted his teeth and sneered, George, don't you fear being ridiculed for answering so recklessly? Instead of reacting to Makoto's anger, Willow just looked at me with a neutral expression. I thought, tonight, I'll make the two of you embarrass yourselves, and tomorrow, the headlines will be full of it. That idiotic board of directors will have to make Willow divorce me for the sake of the company's interests. Yes, I'll make it happen. The atmosphere in the room was lively, with everyone watching me like I was a circus act. I couldn't care less. After all, with a $2 billion divorce settlement, what could possibly be better than financial freedom? The host cleared his throat twice, and the room quieted down. He asked, next question is a phrase fill-in, pain, something, flow, something. No one raised their hands. All eyes were on me, waiting for my next move. I zipped my jacket all the way to my chin and calmly said, painless abortion. The host was speechless. Mr. Wang, please be mindful of the question. The host, fired up by the increasing donation amounts, continued to ask more bizarre and strange questions. I took the microphone without changing my expression, answering without taking a breath. Big feet, boxer shorts, pigs trotters, big mouths, and big buddies in the crotch. Willow and the other socialites were all laughing, and the room was filled with uproarious laughter. I thought, haha, I'm so wild and carefree. Willow must be feeling utterly humiliated now. As the laughter died down, the host continued with the next question. What's the word, hi, something, nothing? Makoto raised his hand, but before he could finish, I slapped his chin upward, forcibly closing his mouth. Then, with everyone looking in shock, I took the microphone and smiled slightly, saying, the teacher mentioned this in class, it's called HD porn. The host awkwardly took over. Mr. Wang is really fond of making jokes, especially sexual jokes. Mr. Wang must have made that mistake on purpose to donate more. Right, I thought. I'm not donating on purpose. I'm just trying to make Willow mad. Heh. The host calmly added 50,000 yuan to the donation amount and continued. Next question. Something thick. I confidently opened my mouth. I'm talking about my poop. Willow immediately clamped her hand over my mouth and dragged me away. Looks like she was afraid I'd keep embarrassing us here. Chapter 6. Halfway through the cocktail party, Willow suddenly became very clingy and wouldn't let me leave. With me, the main person, not leaving. How could that scoundrel Makoto have a chance? Finally, Makoto couldn't hold back anymore and walked up to Willow and me, saying, Willow, let's go over to the balcony and have a chat. Willow gave him a quick glance and said, if Mr. Ito has something to say to me, he can say it here. I thought, Willow must be trying to project the image of the perfect wife and mother in front of everyone. I need to create an opportunity for them to be alone. I cleared my throat and said, Willow, maybe Mr. Ito has something important to discuss with you. Come with me. I know a quieter place. I led them to a small conference room, pushed Willow inside, and Makoto followed. Then, I thoughtfully closed the door for them. Of course, I left a small crack in the door. I had to be prepared for both possibilities. Willow had been acting strange lately. She might have realized my intentions and seemed to have no plans for a divorce anymore. Heh, the two of you, locked in a room together. As their feelings grew, they'd lose control and something might happen. I bet at least Makoto couldn't control himself. Then, I'd secretly record evidence and use it to file for divorce. That way, if the woman is at fault, I might get a bigger settlement. Who knows? Maybe I could get 3 billion. Though my methods weren't exactly righteous, the old saying goes, No means without doing whatever it takes. As long as it's not face to face with the law, I'd take whatever I could, earn whatever I could. No fear of losing, only fear of cutting off the gamble. Try hard, and a bicycle can become a motorcycle. Take a chance, and the motorcycle can become a Range Rover. No fortune without luck, no gain without risk. Whose child cries every day, whose gambler loses every day. As expected, as soon as Makoto entered, he began making his move. He said, "Willow, you know, my feelings for you are as constant as the sun and moon." Willow stopped him from going any further with the sweet talk and said, "Mr. Ito, if you've come just to talk about these old matters, then this conversation can end right now." Through the crack in the door, I saw that Makoto, realizing his emotional card wasn't working, switched tactics. He said, "Willow, you might not know, but George has other women outside. He's been using your money to fool around with them." With that, Makoto handed Willow his phone screen, probably showing some photos or videos. I thought, though I wish Makoto had evidence of me out there fooling around. The truth is, I'm still a virgin. How could I have been out chasing women? Well, fine. In order to get this divorce to go smoothly, I'll eat this loss and take the blame. Makoto. Willow suddenly raised her voice. She glared at Makoto and said, "My husband has a lot of stress. Going to a bar to unwind is completely normal. Besides, he's worked hard his entire life. What's wrong with him paying attention to some young models?" Makoto frowned and said, "It's not just that. Willow, look at this video. He even kissed one of the girls at the VIP booth. What kind of decent person does that?" I thought, what Makoto said seems to be based on some truth. The thing is, Willow won't let me touch her. So I went to a bar to relax. I only chatted and held hands with someone. Well, alright, I admit it. I touched her thigh. Willow paused for 2 seconds and glanced towards the door. I quickly stepped back to hide. I thought, that was close. Almost caught by Willow. No, wait, what am I afraid of? I'm just peeping. I'm morally corrupt and totally shameless. As I thought this, I crept closer to peek inside the room. And of course, our eyes met. Willow's eyes were half squinted, as if silently saying, "Wait until we get home. I'll deal with you." Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Makoto pour some powder into 2 cups and then quickly fill them with half a glass of red wine. He said, "Willow, since you're so determined, I won't insist. Drink this wine, and we'll call it even." With that, Makoto picked up the 2 cups of red wine mixed with some unknown powder and handed one to Willow. I thought, damn, this Makoto is really dirty. Using drugs now. Really? Well done. Doesn't matter whether they drink it or not, as long as the 2 of them are alone in here, and emotions get the better of them. Something will happen. I'll record a video and use it to file for divorce. A few billion. No problem. Ha ha ha. From my angle, I could only see their profiles, but I could tell that Willow had furrowed her brows. She then handed the glass of wine back to Makoto and said, "I'll swap with you." Makoto's mouth curled up slightly, but without hesitation, he swapped glasses with Willow. Willow brought the glass to her lips, her fiery red lips about to drink the drugged wine. Chapter 7. I was absolutely delighted inside. I thought, Makoto seems to have done this kind of dirty work a lot. Both cups were drugged, and anyway, when something happens later, he won't lose. Plus, I've heard that these things can spice things up. Willow immediately stopped reaching for a drink, and as she did, her hand slipped and the wine glass fell to the ground, shattering into pieces. Looking at the broken glass, Willow glanced at Makoto with a bit of guilt and said, "Sorry, my hand slipped. I guess our past feelings are like this wine glass, broken and impossible to repair." I thought, what a sin. Willow must have done that on purpose. You heartless woman, not even willing to drink the last glass of wine from your first love. Just a little more and I would have been on the verge of millions. Makoto was stunned for a moment, then gritted his teeth, seemingly making up his mind. He drank the wine in his glass in one gulp and said through clenched teeth, "Willow, do you know, I've loved you for so many years. Even when your family opposed us, I pursued you like a moth to the flame, undeterred. Now that old man is gone, you suddenly regret it. No, I won't accept it." Willow was stunned by Makoto's sudden shift in behavior, standing frozen for a moment. Then, with a cold snort, she said, "Don't think I don't know what you're after. Your Ito group has a debt ratio of over 80%, and you're about to go bankrupt. If you marry into the Liu family now, not only can you clear your debts, but you'll also start swallowing up the Liu family's assets. Your private life is a mess. Do you think I don't know? I've rejected you so many times, yet you still try to push your luck. Let me be clear, you're 1,000 times worse than George. I love him, and I absolutely won't divorce him." I thought, I saw it with my own eyes. This woman didn't drink the drugged wine, so why is she talking nonsense? I don't have any real feelings for you. Hurry up and divorce me. Forget about the 4 billion. Just give me back the 2 billion from before. Willow turned to leave, and at that moment, Makoto's face turned red, his eyes bloodshot. I had a clear view from the crack in the door, but Willow didn't notice. I quickly took out my phone and started recording. Sure enough, 2 seconds later, Makoto suddenly rushed behind Willow, pulling a silk scarf out of his suit pocket. He covered Willow's mouth and nose with it and pulled her deeper into the room. Willow's eyes widened in shock as she frantically tried to push him away with her hands. The room was dimly lit, and I couldn't make out her exact expression, but I could imagine it was one of desperation. I thought, although it's not mutual, it's 2 billion. The next second, I gritted my teeth and stomped my foot. 2 billion my ass. I couldn't stand to see a woman being assaulted. I kicked open the door with force, shouting, "Stop." Then, I quickly sprinted in and side-kicked. Thankfully, I was wearing sportswear, or I might have split something. With one kick, I sent Makoto flying about a meter away. He stared at me in fear and said, "How are you here?" "You." "Just now." I glanced at Willow, and she was dazed. I walked over and slapped her. She immediately snapped to her senses. Rubbing her stinging face, she glared at me. I clenched my fist with one hand and pointed at Makoto with the other, yelling, "You dare, scoundrel, in broad daylight. You're trying to molest a decent woman." Willow said, "It's nighttime." Her sarcastic comment made me feel quite embarrassed. It didn't matter much, though. The person most embarrassed right now was probably Makoto. People outside heard the commotion and came in. In a matter of seconds, Willow had already straightened out her clothes. She then calmly dialed the police. From her call, the onlookers seemed to have figured out what was going on. The more perceptive elites quickly analyzed the situation, and then, they collectively started attacking Makoto and the Ito group behind him. I, the supposed hero, now seemed somewhat unnecessary. Suddenly, a small hand grabbed mine and started pulling me out. I looked closely and realized it was my wife, who had taken the wrong medicine. We walked in silence. Willow was clearly furious. I thought, this woman is like a ticking time bomb. It's better not to provoke her right now. That slap I gave her was so satisfying that I didn't hold back. And now I see that the handprint is starting to swell. She's not going to come after me later, is she? Wait. I did it to save her. I slapped her to wake her up from the drugs. The law says that if someone causes non-lethal injury while saving someone else, they're not held accountable. Even if she takes me to court, I'm in the right. Willow coldly snorted and said, "You enjoyed slapping me, didn't you?" I was speechless. I thought, this woman can read minds. I was just thinking about that, and she brings it up. But this round, I'm ahead. The old saying goes, if you have the facts, go to court. If you have no facts, call the police. If you have no facts or reasons, go to the media. I have both facts and reason. So what's there to be afraid of? I said. How can you say that? You don't know how dangerous the situation was. If I hadn't slapped you awake, you might have already started tearing your clothes off. I dramatically described the scene. Willow glared at me and said, I was drugged with sleeping pills, not aphrodisiacs. Why would I tear my clothes off? And you were watching from the door, enjoying the show, weren't you? I was shocked and said, How can you slander me like that? I thought, damn, turns out she knew I was spying. No way. If I admit it, I'll be stuck in prison forever. I'll try to deceive a little more. There's still a chance to go home for the new year. Chapter 8. I stammered, trying to argue back, saying, listen to my defense. No, listen to my explanation. I was just passing by, saw a crack in the door, got curious, took a quick peek, and happened to see this scene. Without wasting any time, I rushed in with a heroic eagle strike move to save the beauty. If you don't appreciate it, fine. I should have just stayed out of it. After saying this, I turned with a downcast expression and looked out the window. I thought, no, I've got to hold it together. Think of something sad, or else I'll burst out laughing. Right, my 2 billion is gone. One wave of beautiful college girls after another. The laid-back country life is gone. Boo-hoo-hoo. A wave of melancholy suddenly surged through me. The ancient poet was right. How much sorrow can one heart hold? It's like a river flowing east, endlessly. The more I thought about it, the worse it felt. My nose started to sting, and I almost shed a tear. Willow's voice softened as she said, okay, don't feel bad. I misunderstood you. How about I make it up to you tonight? Hearing the word, make it up, I immediately perked up and hurriedly said, I don't need much, just a couple billion will do. Willow bit her silver teeth for a moment, then her expression changed. With a smile in her eyes, she said, I can offer something even more precious than that. I guarantee you'll be satisfied. I thought, this woman doesn't want to get something for free, does she? She doesn't look like a good person. Back home, I quickly slipped into my small guest room. After washing up, I started planning my grand future. In my phone's memo, I wrote down what I'd need to take when I returned to the countryside. Suddenly, a fragrant breeze wafted through, and a soft, fluffy hug pressed against my back. I turned my head to find Willow, somehow already wearing a short bathrobe, leaning behind me. The robe was perfectly modest, just the right amount of coverage. Any more, and it would be inappropriate. Any less, and it would drive a man crazy. She whispered, "We've been married for so long, and we still haven't had our wedding night." Willow was now close, her cheek brushing against my ear. I quickly turned off my phone screen and said, "What? What are you doing? We're husband and wife. What's wrong with just talking things through? No need for physical actions." Willow snorted and said, "If you don't cooperate, I'll sue you, saying you're trying to force yourself on me, and the minimum sentence would be 3 years. I quickly pushed Willow away and said, "You're twisting the facts." Willow took a small step and sat down on the armrest of the sofa. She said, "So, who do you think they'll believe, you or me?" I thought, I'm screwed. Looks like tonight, I'm going to lose all dignity. How am I supposed to divorce now? Damn it. A real man can bend and stretch. I'll take this humiliation for now, and someday, I'll get my revenge. Fine. Tomorrow I'll go to the hospital and figure out a way to make myself infertile. Then I'll take her for a checkup. Willow will definitely divorce me. With this thought in mind, I reluctantly gave in to her and endured a storm of passion. The next day, I looked up male contraception methods online. The most common one was a vasectomy, but there was also oral male contraceptive pills, though they weren't available locally and I'd have to buy imported ones. I quickly dragged a friend to buy them. Over the next few days, I kept finding excuses to avoid confronting Willow directly. Half a month later, the medicine finally arrived. Since Willow had opened up sexually, she now wanted me to pay my dues 3 times a day, morning, noon, and night. No one could endure that. A few days ago, I kept rejecting her, and tonight, I was going to reject her again. She was bound to explode. Holding the medicine, I was preparing to take it. I thought, hee. 1 pill lasts for 3 months, and this box is enough for 2 years. If I can't get her pregnant in 2 years, Willow will definitely think something's wrong. Then we'll go for an exam. And my divorce payout will be mine. The next second, a female voice suddenly called out, "Honey, what are you doing?" I jumped. The pill slipped from my hand, and I quickly bent down to pick it up. She asked, "Honey, are you looking for something on the floor? Is it this?" Willow bent down and handed me something. I looked at the pregnancy test strip with 2 red lines and was lost in thought. I asked, "What is this?" Willow helped me up and said, "It's normal that you don't understand. This is a pregnancy test. 2 lines mean you're pregnant." I was so shocked that I took a step back, and I felt like I stepped on something. After a brief thought, it must have been the pill. It seems it's already useless now. I was devastated and thought, it's over. The duck that was about to land has flown away. I should have thought of this earlier. Damn Willow. She was supposed to be this cold, reserved beauty, but now she's like a wild horse, constantly extracting juice from me 3 times a day. Of course, she's pregnant. The next day, I took Willow to the maternity checkup. Before long, it was our turn to go in. The results were normal. Taking advantage of the situation, I hurriedly asked the doctor, "Doctor, is it safe to have sex while pregnant?" The doctor shot me a glare and said, "Not in the first 3 months or the last 3 months." I asked hopelessly, "So, the middle 4 months are fine?" The female doctor stood up, glared at me, and scolded, "Hey, even though your wife is pretty, she's pregnant. What the hell are you thinking?" I immediately felt relieved, turned to Willow, and said, "Did you hear that? The doctor said it's not safe." Willow pouted and said, "Oh, okay, I won't push you, but we'll settle the score later."